Hey, this is the immediate follow up to the last one. We all want to tax the rich, and instead of just saying you're not paying your fair share too, instead of saying pay your fair share, let's actually tax the rich. As I mentioned in the previous live stream, uh, which, by the way, I'm pretty excited that I figured out how to do. I mentioned that we're not actually taxing the rich by taxing income. I didn't mention before, but when we tax income, we're actually taxing upper middle class, the people that are doing very well for themselves, like lawyers and doctors, um, and highly skilled technicians, etc., and entrepreneurs that have opened up shops and stores. I think the way to tax the actual truly wealthy, like the Zuckerbergs and the Bezoses, uh, is to say F the income tax. We're taxing wage earners, and I don't think that's the way to do this. I think we need to apply all of our taxes to sales, federally anyway. States can do what they want. And no, I don't mean every sale. I think there should be an escalating scale, just like we're using for income tax, on sales, and not how many sales are done, but the luxury of them. Necessities like food, a vehicle to get to work, equipment to work with, like tools or even a bulldozer, would be tax free because they are needed to produce, and that is good. Production means money moves. That means people are making money. They can buy goods, and not just that, but there are goods to be purchased because they're being made by people. The more luxurious your purchase is, for example, a $250,000 supercar might have 100% tax on it. It might have 125% tax on it. You want a $250,000 car because you want to have fun. Cool. You're absolutely allowed to do it, but that is what should be taxed. Like right now, we're giving subsidies to Tesla. People can buy $100,000 electric cars at a huge discount right now, and it's being paid for by the taxpayer. I think this should be the other way around. I think if you want to buy a $100,000 car, you should be paying into the pot, not taking from it. I think this would actually work. If you want a yacht, there'd be a giant tax, especially if you want one of these ridiculous super yachts you keep hearing about being made with like 2 helipads or whatever. That should have a giant tax. But, my gasoline to get to and from work shouldn't have a 600% tax on it, or whatever it is. But the gasoline tax is insane. Once you account for all the different taxes applied to it, the same dollar was taxed. I'm sorry, the same gallon of gasoline was taxed 15 times before it got into your tank of your car to get you to work to go pay more taxes. I think the person that's busting their ass to get by should be able to get a little bit ahead, and the guy who's buying a Ferrari because, hey, it's a nice car, and you know what? I'd love to own one. I'd probably go the different vehicle than a Ferrari, but I think that guy should be paying the tax. It shouldn't be Bob, who's managing a Walmart, making $75,000 a year or whatever the hell they're making. I don't know. It might be near 100,000, depending on where you are. I don't know. I just know that the teachers in my town are getting paid $90,000 a year. And you say you want to pay the teachers more, that's cool, but these folks are making 90 grand a year. which is more than your average laborer, uh, and they're working far fewer months. And if you dare bring up, oh, they buy their own paper and pens. Yes, and your craftsman buys his own tools that cost exponentially more. I mean, I've bought tools for work that have cost me $1,000, but I needed it for work. That should be tax free. I don't know. Give me a heads up. What do you think? I think this is the way to do it. I know it's never going to happen because no one's willing to uproot the system that's been in place since FDR threw an unconstitutional tax upon the people during the war to pay for the war, and it only disappeared for a couple of years before it was brought back. Once you give up your rights, they never come back. You know, they never do. Like, just like you still taking your shoes off to get onto a plane, even though the testing done against the TSA has shown that they're not doing anything to stop weapons from getting on planes. I don't know. Give me a heads up when you think about this tax system. I think it's a neat idea. I think it's worth looking into. I'd like someone to be able to do some math for me because I don't know how much we have to bring in / rein in what we're paying, because I think that's more important versus instead of how we're bringing it in. We need to do something different. It's not working. We cannot mint a $1 trillion coin to solve our problems, because if we could, we would just keep doing it. The reason why things that have no value have value is because there's few of them, and the more of them you make, the less it's worth. Again, that's why groceries are going up. That's why you have to wait an extra 3 weeks to get your whatever delivery that you've subscribed on from Amazon. Give me feedback. I'm interested. Deuces.